Welcome to another episode of the live set of six. So it's our live news show where we share the good, the great and the noteworthy of rugby league outside the heartlands. My name's Craig.
And my name's Carl. And on this week's set of six, we're going to be talking about an international team entering the Midlands Nines, plus a side local to us are entering that big stadium.
Okay, Carl, another absolutely action-packed week for the Rugby League Outsiders this week. Loads and loads going on. We may as well... Oh, no, in fact, before we start, let me just talk a little bit of housekeeping before we start. Obviously, those of you that join in every week, you have got the ability to comment and interact with the show. So if you've got something to say, something you want to share, maybe even just want to shout out or, slag off Carl's new haircut or whatever it is.
I ain't got a new haircut this week.
Oh, you surprised me. Then you get to do that, okay? And I can bring it up on screen. We can share it, talk about it. Now, in order to do that, you need to give permission to, if you're on Facebook, give permission to the software we use, which is StreamYard. Okay, and we always give away 10 points, 10 Rugby League Outsiders points, which you can redeem nowhere on the internet at all for the first person to comment. So get your comments in, say hello, let us know that you're there. What are you saying now, Cal?
You say we're an action-packed week. You're not lying, are you, Craig? I can't remember the last time I went home, to be honest with you. It feels like a Rugby League Outsiders full-time and I don't go to work anymore. But yeah, we've had a real great week. Tackle one is really just a recap of the Outsiders week. We had the opportunity to go to Loughborough last week to watch the semi-final between Loughborough University and Leeds Beckett. And my God, was it a final? Was it a semi-final, Craig? It was absolutely brilliant, wasn't it?
Well, it was freezing.
Yeah, it was freezing, definitely.
Absolutely Baltic. But yeah, really good. Loughborough, just a bit of backstory. Loughborough was really hopeful that they were going to get a win and do one on Leeds Beckett.
But they'd had a perfect season, hadn't they? They'd gone all year without sort of losing a game.
Hang on, cut out. Sorry, guys, seem to have lost you there. What were you saying, Carl?
Technical error. Never had one of them before. Yeah, I was just saying Loughborough had a perfect season. They'd played all year and they'd not lost a game. And there's some real momentum building within that university. We've had a number of players selected for the England side. So, yeah, we got invited down to the university. Great venue. And went to see all the action, didn't we, Craig?
Yeah, we did. We're really impressed with the Loughborough setup. The place itself is just a centre of sporting excellence, and it was great to visit that, and also just give loads of students shit. We just spent most of the day just like two cantankerous old blokes just gobbing off about students, and they're not doing anything. And then just to teach them a lesson. We
may or may have not sat in the vegan lounge eating a meatball Subway sandwich.
Yeah, so we do apologise for that if that's what happened. But we've got a little bit of a video clip which we want to show you. Anything to say before we play the video, Cal?
No, I think I think people will get the sort of the atmosphere that there was at the game from this short video clip.
Okay, tonight we find ourselves on quite a chilly night here at Loughborough University ahead of Loughborough's game against Leeds Beckett University. So, Carl, tell us a little bit about how this kind of match came about and a little bit of history around it, whatever you know.
Well, Loughborough finished top of their division this year and they've had a perfect season. They haven't lost a game this year. Now, Leeds, who they're playing today, 20 years consecutively they've been in the final. But this Loughborough side, from what everybody's telling me, is very strong. So it could be the moment that Leeds are finally knocked off their perch. I'm really looking forward to the game. It's steeped in sporting history, is this place. We've had a good look around today. It's a centre of sporting excellence, isn't it, Craig? And the rugby league team are really making strides now.
This university rugby league is a little bit of a hidden gem. We use that term quite often when we're talking about rugby league outside the heartlands. But I've been pleasantly surprised at the skill that's on show, the professionalism that these guys are putting into their practice. But also,
yeah, and there's a number of players on this field today that have been selected for the England University side. So that tells you the quality of player that's in this side. Can't wait to see how they get on.
Yeah, so good luck to you, to Loughborough and to Mark Sloan and Tom Mitchell that are kind of at the helm. So yeah, let's get amongst the game.
Yeah, so there's a bit of a recap of the game. We do have on Friday dropping a full-length sort of episode on that. Well, it's about 12, 15 minutes in it, Craig. You can get all the sort of interviews with the players. Luke Phoenix, a previous guest we had on this show, the Loughborough winger, we've got him on, plus other players. And I'd just like to sort of take the opportunity to thank Mark Sloan and Tom Mitchell, the Loughborough coaches who invited us down to the day. It was a great day. We have done some recording with Tom, the assistant coach, who's got a great story to tell. We're creating a bit of a documentary, so but I ain't going to go too much into that. We'll keep that under our hats at the minute.
Well, other than we're going to be talking about the topic of concussion, the concussion rules. You know what I mean? So we are kind of working on that. A couple of comments. Mark Sloan himself. Thanks, Mark, again for having us down. Thanks again for coming across, boys. Appreciate the eyes you're trying to put on the game. And also, Phil, are there many teams in the East Midlands? It's not an area I associate with rugby league. Carl, can you answer that?
Well, East Midlands, you've got Sherwood, Nottingham Outlaws,
Boston,
Derby,
Deep in Ducks,
Lincolnshire Lions,
Leicester
Storm. Rumour they're coming back.
St Ives Roosters, is it? Are they East Midlands?
Not sure about that one.
Quite a few.
There is. Definitely a lot going on in East Midlands. Definitely.
Okay, Chris Chatton saying doing a great job of showcasing the sport outside the Heartlands and also inside the Heartlands on some occasions. Wink. Yeah, we do go on about. I did think this when we started our little jingle. We might have to address that a little bit. But we have got international stories coming up though, so stay with us, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. So going on, we'll keep with the Outsiders recap. We were very fortunately invited along to the Island training camp this week. We got to spend the day with the Island Pathway. So there was the under-19s, the students, a couple of exiles players knocking about, and the Island wheelchair team were also training just down the road. Craig, great to see, wasn't it? Great day out.
Well, I love any, a portal into any elite sport. I just love that. I loved going to Loughborough and I loved going to the training camp on Sunday, just to see how they go about the business and just get to meet the players, the coaching staff, and other members, like the backroom staff that you wouldn't normally know a great deal about, but we were just received incredibly well. Their setup there is just second to none. There was a place called Hopwood Hall near Rochdale, just on the outskirts of Manchester, and it had every bit of. That's where Toronto Wolfpack was based.
Yeah, that was interesting to find that out. Wasn't it? So I didn't know that. So we got there and was in the gym, and it was all Toronto Wolfpack merch and branded up. So yeah, that was interesting. I think there's been a fair number of teams trained there over the last couple of years. But we got to speak to so Matt Kennison, who's the new women's head coach. He hasn't coached them in a competitive game yet, so he's sort of getting stuck into them. We got to see that, a bit of video analysis that he was doing with them, a bit of weights training, and then out on the pitch looking at the 1%ers that we always talk about. We spoke to Alex McGuinness and Claudia Dunn, two female players. Very strong Dublin accents, Craig.
I know it was a bit of a, it was tough to kind of translate and all that, but yeah, great.
They were great, weren't they? They were great. I spoke with so much passion for playing for Ireland, and what seems to come across whenever we meet like an emerging nation like this is, yes, they're so proud to represent their country as anybody would be, but they see it as a bigger project. That they're wanting the game to grow as well. And that's one of the main things I took away from it. And we also got to sit down with Jed Corcoran, who is the Ireland head coach. And, he's involved right down to the pathways, making sure that that their ethos is embedded right through the teams. We have got a bit of a clip, haven't we, Craig?
Don't test me.
You don't impress me, so don't test me, nah.
So don't test me, nah. Don't test me.
Yo, you don't impress me, so don't test me, nah.
So don't test me, nah. Don't test me.
Yo, they wouldn't let me. Man's gal wanna come undress me. Swing with the right, but I might go lefty. I made plus with it, so don't test me. They wouldn't let me. Man's gal wanna come undress me. Swing with the right, but I might go lefty. I made plus with it, so don't test me, nah. You don't impress me, so don't test me, nah.
So don't test me, nah. Don't test me.
You don't impress me, so don't test me, nah.
So don't test me, nah. Don't test me.
On the fucking ball, mate, now, whatever the bingo call is.
test me. Don't 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 test me. They wouldn't let me. Man's gal wanna come undress me. Swing with the right, but I might go lefty. I made plus with it, so don't test me. They wouldn't let me. Man's gal wanna come undress me. Swing with the right, but I might go lefty. I made plus with it, so don't test me. Nah. They wouldn't let me. Man's gal wanna come undress me. Swing with the right, but I might go lefty. I made plus with it, so don't test me. They wouldn't let me. Man's gal wanna come undress me. Swing with the right, but I might go lefty. I made plus with it, so don't test me. Nah. So don't test me.
So don't test me. Don't test me.
You don't impress me. So don't test me.
So don't test me. Don't test me.
Don't test me. Don't test me. Don't test me.
Don't test me.
Don't test me. Don't test me. Don't test me. Don't test me.
Don't test me.
Don't test me.
Yeah, so that'll give you a bit of an insight into Ireland Rugby League. Craig, you're channeling your inner rapper there with the choice of music.
Do you know, I'm notoriously bad for choosing music, but I just thought, well, that one fit. And do you know what I was thinking all the time is like, you know, what we do when we're coaching, we often look at where we are, you know, and we chase goals, thinking, right, I want to turn that goal, but we don't. What we need to do is chase a character, because the character brings around that goal. Now, this Ireland squad, we're talking constantly about the World Cup qualifying, you know what I mean, going one step further against Wales and other home nations and all that kind of stuff. And they weren't necessarily, they're their goals, but they're already acting as if they're already that character. You know, some of them were paying for their own flights to make sure that they're training, but incredibly dedicated. Everybody was listening and attentive, you know, and I've seen other training squads where there's a little bit of, you know, fucking about and not quite listening, and, you know, they're not quite on it and all that kind of stuff. There was just none of that. They were really, really on the ball, and it was great to see.
Yeah, and I really like what Ireland are doing as well. They've got a number of sort of training camps that are taking place around the country, and then they're going to be hitting one in Dublin, and they're getting in nice and early, aren't they? Preparing for the next set of internationals. And look, I'm fully invested in this Students' Four Nations that are going to be taking place next year. I can't wait for it.
Okay, so a little bit of look forward now. By the way, just if you haven't subscribed to us on YouTube, we are having a little bit of a race to hit 500 subscribers this week on YouTube. So please help us out. It definitely helps. This is a hobby for us, but we try and do the best we can. We've got lots coming out this week. As you can see, we've got our live set of 6 that we're doing right now, which 26 people at this time are recording and watching. Tomorrow we do our Super League predictions. Carl, how are we feeling about that?
Well, I've got to do some catching up, mate. I'm 2 points behind you after last week, so yeah, not tweaking that too nicely.
Yeah, so we try and have a little bit of a fun look at Super League predictions. Don't take it too serious, but we do talk some of the wider stories as well. Thursday we've got our standard podcast coming out with Matt Kennison,
Alex McGuinness and Claudia Dunn.
Yeah. Okay. Which is really, they speak really, really well, really interesting. And Matt Kennison is an interesting guy from Australia, but he spent 10 years in Dublin, sort of working on touch rugby, tag rugby, and we asked him some real good, deep questions. So we'll definitely look out for that one. Also, Friday, Loughborough Leeds, we've got the extended clips from what you've just seen there. So like Carl said, some interviews and all that kind of stuff. And then finally on Sunday, Carl, can you talk about this whilst I sort out some text?
Yeah, Jed Corcoran interview on Sunday, which is St. Patrick's Day. So we're launching it on St. Patrick's Day to be on theme. Jed was brilliant to speak to. You know, he doesn't hold back. He speaks his mind. He tells you everything about Irish Rugby League and his upbringing, and coming over to the UK, getting him, and then eventually becoming Ireland head coach. He had a little bit of controversy as well, I think, Craig. He don't hold back, does he?
Hang on, let me bring my face up so you can see this. Yeah, he did. The lots of stuff that you spoke about there. You know what I mean? Quite often coaches will kind of toe the party line and avoid any kind of conflict and friction and that kind of stuff. That's not Jed's way. You know, he just kind
I fully respect him for that as well.
Yeah. I mean, he was completely polite. He had completely the moral high ground all the way through, so he can speak, you know, in a confident manner about his choices and the values that he's speaking from. So it's really interesting. So check that out.
Shall we move on to tackle 2? Or have you got any comments you want to bring up?
I just want to bring up this comment. So Fat Monkey Rugby Cast, I think they're pretty new on the scene, just like us. So thanks for commenting. Keep up the good work, lads. And you know, maybe we can get you on the show and have a bit of chat, learn about you. You can learn about us, and maybe we'll do that.
Collaboration. That's what YouTube's all about these days. Yeah.
Call it across the tubes.
Right. Okay. We'll move on to tackle 2 then. So Catalan are to pay away travel for teams for the away teams from 2025, which I've got to say, Craig, when I saw this, it shocked me. I think this story came out the other week, so it's not a brand new story, but Catalan have sort of responded this week in the press. Look, I couldn't put my own opinion out there. So it just seems like a crazy decision. Especially when Catalan are going so well.
It definitely seems like an obstacle, a bit of friction.
Yeah.
When we're talking about like expansionist rugby and, you know, developing the game in other areas and all that kind of stuff, you might say that Catalans are pretty much up there in the pinnacle of European Rugby League, but they don't need an obstacle like that. They don't need any more friction. Now, undoubtedly, there'll be aspects of this that we just do not understand, we do not know, we're not privy to.
Yeah.
Okay. However, maybe that's a call then for the RFL to give us more information, because it just doesn't sit right. There's definitely a bit of a bad taste.
Yeah. So the Catalan do have a TV deal, don't they? But I don't know. I believe it's a free TV deal, so it's not actually bringing any money into the sport. However, whether it's bringing direct money into the sport, I think Catalan themselves, just the fact that they're a European country, you know, aside in Europe, are bringing so much to the game.
Yeah.
We don't want to be a Northern England sport, do we? We want to be expanding, and
well, we need to be.
Yeah,
we need to be. That's the thing. You know, it's funny because I'm just going to bring up a comment now. So Tim Jones, friend of mine, played at Huddersfield Academy with him. I really respect all his knowledge on rugby league, you know, and he's working with under-19s Norway team. Hopefully we're going to have him on pretty soon to talk about that.
We can go to Norway.
Yeah. Well, have you seen the price of a pint of Guinness out there?
No, mate.
Jesus Christ.
Is it cheaper for us to go to Dublin?
Yeah. Well, let's say it's not Bradford, Carl. All right. So anyway, you know, teams like that, we need it. We've got to develop these teams. Serbia, Norway, teams going out to play Czech Republic. You know what I mean? There's just we've got to be expanding like that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think we move on then, shall we?
Before we do, Fat Monkey. I don't know your actual name, so we'll call you Fat Monkey.
Yeah, Fat Monkey.
So sounds brilliant today.
Right. Brilliant. Nice one. Right. Okay. This breaking news, Craig.
Yeah, it is.
The Yellow Banner's back. International team entering the Midlands Nines. Scotland are entering the men's tournament in the Midlands Nines. So, this is just brilliant for the tournament. We're spreading nationally now.
Yeah, we've been kind of trying to get this. Well, you've been working hard to get this over the line for quite a while. It is the Scotland under 9s. It's not
19s, mate.
Under 19s, not the under 9s. That'd be wrong. Not the whole of Scotland, as Carl said. Scotland have entered the 9s. I was like, fucking hell, I've got enough space. Anyway, yeah, it's really, really exciting to have them there, and I think that's going to be a tough competition. You know, we're looking at the teams that are in there. It's going to be tough.
I mean, we've got a real good mix now. We've got Timebridge coming down from Devon, up. Scotland coming down from Scotland, and then we've got a mix of Midlands teams in there. Some strong Midlands teams, some teams from the East Midlands who've been playing up in the Yorkshire divisions. Oh, can't wait, mates! And also, we've only got one space remaining in the men's tournament now.
Yeah, and do you know what? I think it's a shame that we haven't got a Coventry-based team. whether it's like a union side that's in the social team, a women's side in the women's competition, or even a men's side, in the men's competition. But it's a real shame. I wish I could spin the camera around and show you the trophies that we've got for these. They're quite substantial trophies, and it's a shame there's not a country-based team in the running for that. But anyway, we never know. There's a space left, so maybe we'll get them in there.
One space left in the men's tournament. The women's is also filling up, and the socials filling up as well now. So if you want to be part of the Midlands Nines, please get your entry in soon, because we will be closing it soon. Right, Craig, shall we move on?
Before we move on, can I just give a little bit of a plug? For anyone that is a coach, an aspiring coach, and wants to, increase their skills, improve their effectiveness and all that kind of stuff, good coaches are coachable. That's the big thing. All great coaches I met, Olympic coaches to, coaches in the league or anything like that, the ones that are coachable, the best. Okay, just make the best coaches. Now we managed to secure a great opportunity and a high performance coaching seminar in Lillishall in the Midlands. Okay, so you can get that for half price when we tell you how to do that if you're interested. In essence, you'll turn up at Lillishall. If you don't know anything about Lillishall, it is the National Sports Centre, Sports and Performance Centre, I think it is. It's the home of GB Archery, GB Gymnastics.
Is it where the England football team used to be based?
I don't know.
Possibly. I think it is before they moved to St George's.
So when you walk around there, you just stand taller. You know what I mean? It's just that kind of place, quite imposing, old abbey, with lots of sports facilities around it. Anyway, it's a full day of advanced coaching techniques. It's theory work as well as practical. Carl and I are going to be there, and we will almost host you for the day. So you'll spend the day with us. We'll stay together in a little bit of rugby click and do all the activities as a little bit of a rugby click.
Who are the guest speakers, mate?
The speakers are, first of all, Ed Clancy, triple Olympic gold medal cyclist, who's now gone into advanced corporate coaching. So he's just an amazing guy to talk to from Huddersfield, from Home Firth originally. So he's a bit of a local lad for me, and a great guy, really humble, really modest, knows everything about Olympics. You just talk to him and he's best friends with all the top names. If you're not a cyclist, all the names, your Froome, your Cavendish, all that. He's just best mates and just takes the piss. And he's really got a lot to say about advanced coaching and what's worked for him. Those marginal gains, cycling. Obviously, British cycling went through a bit of a renaissance sort of 10 years ago, where they just became the best in the world across all teams. Across all levels there by. Dave Beresford basically doing the old marginal games, 1%ers, all this kind of stuff. Anyway, fascinating to talk to. You've also got a psychologist called Jane Viljoen, award-winning psychologist, Forbes, all that kind of stuff. She's brilliant, absolutely fantastic at what she does. Phil Kelly, and again, another award-winning coach. You think about all the top-level directors in Barclays, KPMG, some clients that you can't mention, plus elite levels,
athletes,
Olympians, top level rugby union. I don't think he's ever done any kind of advanced coaching with rugby league, but he does love rugby league. I know he does. Good friend of mine. You've also, who else you got there? Phil Jones, MBE, award-winning business coach, and someone to do with like Paralympics. Anyway, all high level coaches. Anyway, we're going to put a link to that underneath this if it's something you're interested in. It works out at something like £97.50, which is 50%. That includes your lunch and the day at Lillishall with us. And we'll give you the link, and then just use the code SET6 when you book, and you can get that for 50%. So.
And that's next Thursday?
Yeah, it's next Thursday, 27th of March. Should have said that, really.
Superb, yeah. Okay, shall we move on?
Yeah, I better do.
Tackle 4 then. So a story that we've been waiting to finally, I think a lot of people have been waiting for this for a while. So Midlands Hurricanes are finally going to be playing in the Alexander Stadium, the main stadium. I know the fans have been waiting for it. Everybody amongst Midlands Rugby has been excited for this to finally happen. The club have finally announced it. Their first game against Rochdale Hornets taking place on Sunday, St. Patrick's Day. So it's going to be a real big party atmosphere. Yeah, it's going to be taking place in the Alexander Stadium. We did get a chance to speak to Greg a little bit earlier before we came in here. Greg Wood, the Hurricanes CEO. And here's that clip.
Okay, Greg, so we'll just get straight into the big news coming out of the Hurricanes camp this week is obviously, you've got yourself into the main stadium there at the Alexander Stadium. How does it feel to finally get that over the line?
Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. It's been a long time coming. Obviously, we first started talking to the council in the stadium well over 2 years ago now. So obviously last year we made the interim step into the warm-up arena with the games and everything going on, and then we're finally there. So posts are in, lines are marked, and we're ready to go.
Awesome. Greg, I know it's probably been a bit hectic, sort of getting this game on this weekend. How are ticket sales going? There must be a big buzz around the club.
Yeah, it's going all right. We've been out to a lot of schools as well and distributed a hell of a lot of free tickets to schools and just try to really make it a bit of a real festival atmosphere on that first day. There's bands on and all sorts of treats for everyone. So fingers crossed we get some decent weather and get some decent numbers down.
What's the feeling amongst the players, Greg? Have you been in touch with the players this week? Have you got a bit of a feel for how they are about it?
Yeah, there's real buzz from those guys as well. Obviously, they've a big chunk of them have had a full year of playing kind of 200 yards away, just looking over at the stadium longingly, and then the new guys this year have kind of turned up, and their first game kind of you get that big wow factor when you walk through the gates. Like, wow, can't wait to be in there, and it's finally here. So yeah, the lads are absolutely buzzing to get in there and get going as well.
I suppose there was a big need for patience all around from the players. I dare say that, when you're doing like contract talks and that kind of thing, that the idea of playing at the Alexander Stadium was a big draw for some players. So have you felt that? Yeah, very much so. I mean, when we were always very honest with everyone when we're having those talks. And last year we made it clear to everyone, look, this year's not going to be in the main stadium. It's a stepping stone to get in there. And then this year we've kind of said to the guys, look, it is our intention to be there. We knew that it wouldn't be realistic for us to be in for the 1895 Cup games. The target always was to be in for the actual league season, which obviously starts on Sunday. So we've hit that target with the help of the council and stuff like that. But yeah, it's been it has required a lot of patience. And from my side, it's a massive thanks to the supporters that we've got that have bared with us, and also the opposing teams that have come as well, because those guys kind of come and they're hoping to get in the stadium as well, and everyone's been very, very supportive with us. So from my side, I'd like to thank everyone that's kind of bared with us over the last year, and hopefully now everyone will get to come and enjoy it.
Greg, on the playing side of things, Mark's built an incredibly strong squad this year. Some very exciting players, especially the lads coming through the armed forces. What's the expectation amongst the fans for this up and coming season?
Well, like you said, Carl, we've again on the field making stepping stones in the right direction. We think pre-season's been grueling, to say the least. So the guys have been in 3 times a week, pretty much every week, started in November. So I think we were in one of the earliest of the teams in Championship and League One. To be honest, I think we got a bit of a head start on everyone, and like I say, the lads have been putting the work in. So from our side, I think we're hopeful just to see improvement year on year, because that's what we're basing the club on. I said when we sat with you guys a year ago, we're not here to kind of go bang and do it in a year. We're wanting to take baby steps and do it gradually. So hopefully this year we'll improve on last year's results, and you never know, see where we are at the end of the year with regards to playoffs and things like that.
So first game of the season on Sunday, as well as being in the stadium. Anything else going on? Anything else the fans can expect?
Yeah, so like I said, we have got some live music, potentially a few other surprises as well on the day, but I don't want to give too much away. But yeah, like I say as well, we're going to try and build on it week on week. From our side, we don't want to bite off too much on that first occasion. Just want to make sure operationally, logistically, it's a good day and it works for everyone. And then, like I say, we'll add to it week on week and see where we are by the end of the year and what we want to add to the occasion next year as well.
Greg, if anybody's listening to this and they want to sort of purchase tickets for this week's up and coming game, where can they get them, mate?
Yeah, absolutely. So anyone that wants to get them, they can go online and get them there. There's also on all of our socials, there'll be links. There's regular posts and update with links to the ticket office. So you can get them. If you don't get the chance, though, you can pay on the day. The price is slightly higher if you pay on the gate, but only a couple of quid. So hopefully, get some good numbers, and we'll see everyone there on Sunday.
Brilliant. Okay, well, all the best for Sunday, Greg. Have you got any final messages for either fans, players, or members of the backroom staff?
No, just like I said earlier, I'd just like to reiterate to everyone how much I'd like to thank them for the patience with us, and then please come down and enjoy what we've been waiting for. It's finally here, so I hope to see as many as we can down on Sunday, and I'm sure the lads are going to put on a good performance for everyone to see.
Brilliant, Greg. Thank you very much.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, so great interview there with Greg. Really nice to sort of see that the Hurricanes are having a bit of success and they're finally getting into that stadium, and they are going to have one of the best stadiums in rugby league, not just in League One, Craig, in rugby league.
Yeah, I mean, it is a great stadium. It's absolutely brand spanking new, barely been touched, and great news, great atmosphere, great part of the world. It's just, it's going to be brilliant.
It's just good for Midlands rugby. For Midlands rugby to succeed, we've got to have a thriving community game. We've got to have a League One sort of semi-professional or professional side in this area for players to aspire to play for. And with that stadium there, we're going in the right direction. People are going to want to play in that stadium.
Right, well, speaking of the right direction, obviously this year Super League has been plagued by a lot of red cards, yellow cards, controversial decisions, some say. None more so than that Mark Percival tackle.
Seamless link there, Craig. Give me 5 out of 5 for that one.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, Percival's red card, which changed the game at the weekend. Absolute talking point amongst fans, of Saints fans, rival fans. I think the best way to go into it, Craig, is to show the clip to start off with.
Yeah.
Caught you out a bit there, didn't I?
It's exceptional.
They've got a chance on the far side. They've got an overlap. Oh, and then the ball goes to ground. But what an opportunity. McDonald's setting up Cross. Cross didn't have the legs, I don't think, or the confidence. Then they sweep the ball. They had an overlap and the ball goes to ground.
Well, obstruction potentially in the background, but fantastic play from Salford. They just couldn't make the most of it. It's great defence from Mark Percival on the end. A solid read on a big man in Jack Ormonroyd. It's a big tackle from Mark Percival. Shorrocks throws it. Ormonroyd, bang. Now it's just whether there's any contact. When we have a look at that again, is there any contact with the head?
He seemed to drop the ball, didn't he?
Well, he did drop the ball from the contact from Mark Percival. The question is where that contact is.
Well, this is a big call here. Marcus Griffiths, the video referee, has had a word. And that's a red card.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's got a lot of comeback on that. Definitely contact with the head. My
Get that in you.
Yeah, it's absolutely standard. Little man and a big man. The only thing you can do is just fucking whap them. I think, looking at it, and I did post this on my Facebook earlier on to kind of get like a bit of a gauge of what the people around me thought about it, and I had a couple of remarks. One from a friend of mine, Carl Elman, he was kind of saying, from what he saw, like, in that split-second decision and the way that Jack Ormonroyd was moving, if he didn't get some height, he's going to get steamrolled. You know what I mean? And then obviously from there, kind of got it wrong. And I don't think Jack Ormonroyd struggling to catch the ball in the air helped put him in the wrong position. Anyway, stars aligned, and before you know it, it's a red card.
No, but he lifted the arm, didn't he? He lifts the arm. He swings. I know he couldn't get out of the way. He didn't exactly make any attempt to get out of the way, did he?
Well, no, you're right, and I think I wonder what everyone else watching thinks of that. You know what I mean? The truth of the matter is, got the red card. Saints down to 12 men, and there was a definite pivotal point in the match where, eventually they went on and scored and won, didn't they? You know what I mean? Leeds lost the game.
I think that's a talking point in itself, isn't it? The reds and yellow cards now are playing. They're playing a massive part in the game, aren't they? They're turning games on the head this year. So you've got to imagine that coaches are going to be teaching discipline as much as anything else. They've got to be sat with these players on the training ground, just going on about discipline, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, but interestingly, I think the quote of the entire thing was John Wilkin when he said, "Great defence by Mark Percival." You know what I mean? You're like,
it's one of them though, isn't it?
Good read. It was a good read.
Yeah, but it's one of them. It don't look as bad in full speed, but he's in slow motion, and he definitely lifts the arm, and he definitely whackers him. You got a comment about me doing something similar, haven't you? Here?
No, I haven't. I'm glad you brought that up, Cal. But no, I've got some couple of comments. These are fucking brilliant. Deep in Duck saying hello. How you doing? Hope you're well, lads. Keeping an eye on what you're up to, lads.
Yeah, we're keeping an eye.
The Ducks social media's going really well. Which obviously, is the point in which the
Bosh.
Mark Percival's shoulder collided with Jack Ormeroy's head. He's saying he knew what he was doing. That's Carl's take on it as well.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm not sure he kind of maliciously went out to take his head off. I think the only option to bosh him was that. You know what I mean? But I don't think it was anything kind of malicious. This is the best one, though. Jamie Lee Jones.
Get him off.
Get him off. I can't speak. That classic timeless clip.
I think Jamie witnessed a shot like that not so long ago at Oxford.
Oh, was it you?
Well, no comment. Right, let's move on, mate, on to Williams Weekly, tackle 6. It's go on, off you go, mate.
Yeah, so every week I have a little discussion point, which is something perhaps a little bit different sometimes. And I just want to get a bit of discussion going and see what your take on stuff. And sometimes it's quite high level questions, sometimes it's absolute grassroots. And this is definitely kind of Billy Basic this week. And the question is, do Batley and Featherstone stand a chance in the next round of the Challenge Cup? So with the draw, you might argue that you've got two of the better teams from the Championship against two of the lesser teams from the Super League, and therefore, do they have a chance?
Right, I'll go through the draw then, so everybody knows what we're on about. So Hull KR v Salford, which is going to be a belting game. I can't wait for that one. There's two teams that just play such an entertaining brand of rugby. Anyway, move on. Wigan v Sheffield. We got Lee versus Featherstone, Batley versus Castleford, Leeds v Saints, Wyre v London, Huddersfield v Hull FC, and Halifax versus Catalans. Catalans from the south of France all the way to the Shea.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, two teams there, Batley and
Batley v Cass.
Yeah. So, what do you think, Carl?
You know what?
In fact, should we come back to this? We'll do tweet of the week and then see what sort of the people have got to say.
Yeah, good idea. We'll come back to that then. So, tweet of the week this week, or the not the tweet of the week, if I think you could potentially call this one. Craig, get back on screen, mate. I can't read it.
Oh, sorry.
So Derek Beaumont, after Lee lost, he went on one of his Twitter rants, as he does so very often. So he put, that is why the game is not investable and needs an absolute overhaul.
Fair of overall.
Overall, not overhaul. I have kept quiet till now.
Yeah, sorry about that. Sound dropped out. Carry on, Carl, what you said?
Right, I'll start again. So Derek Beaumont basically tweeted, so that is why the game is not investable and needs an absolute overhaul. Quote that, overall, not overall. I've kept quiet until now. Council meeting on Wednesday, and I will do my talking there. I will not sit and watch our game be driven into the ground. Fine by me, but you will not silence me. Game on. Absolute. He's got form, hasn't he, with these sort of messages. Everything's going well at Lee, and you don't hear anything from him, and they lose a game, and you get one of them. And then he kind of followed it up with, I've got loads of mates who've got loads of money, and we could buy Super League if we wanted to. And it's not a good look, is it?
My dad's harder than your dad. No, but, right.
It's not my dad's harder than.
I wonder. People that are watching this, people that watch it in the future, like do other people know more than this? Because when I look at what's being said in that, it doesn't really make sense to me. I don't know what the incident was that has triggered this message. What throws me out of kilter is like the idea of like the council meeting. Like what's the council meeting for?
I don't know.
You know what I mean? Has he had some bad news about the ground or what? I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
Maybe he went to Wigan Council after that to make a complaint about the RFL. I don't know. I don't know, mate. But any comments on that?
I love the way that he said, they won't. You can find me, but they won't shut me up. And then he deleted the tweet. I thought that was absolutely genius.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, if you're in a position to buy Super League, let's go for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we've got talks of NRL buying it, and everyone's shitting the pants a little bit about that. So, unless you're going to make us all wear leopard skin fucking print everywhere, you know what I mean? It might be a good thing. So, yeah, let's crack on with it.
Leopard print Super League. We'll go back to the Williams Weekly then. Have we got any comments on that? Do Batley and Fev stand a chance in the Challenge Cup?
Yeah, a couple of things. People are saying, Phil Rogers saying Paul Wellens didn't have any issues with the red. He just wants consistency. Completely agree with that, and great comment.
Yeah.
Chris saying, interesting story with Batley and Cass, with Lingard being the ex-coach, did a great job on a low budget at Batley. Yeah, he did a cracking job there. And there's a couple of Josh Hudson plays at Cass now. He was a Batley player last year.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see Josh Hudson get a start this week. Moved over from Batley with Craig Lingard, haven't they? Up and coming play. Cass have certainly got to make some changes. They were dreadful last week. The defence was like a leaky bucket. The Huddersfield cut through them easily. But
this is my point. Like, does that mean they've got a chance? Like,
I think.
And therefore, who's your money on?
Well, it's on that hill at Batley as well, which is, that evens the game straight away. Where you got to know how to play that hill, haven't you? I don't think Featherstone. I don't think he'll do anything against Lee. Lee looked white hot against Leeds in that first half. They were just cutting ribbons through Leeds. Lam and Moylan were just great in attack, and Leeds couldn't deal with it. So I think Lee will be comfortable winners in that one. But Batley, I sense they've got a chance in this one.
Yeah, they were red hot against Leeds in the first half. I remember watching the game, and their attacking formations were so deep. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a line as deep as that, and everything was like at pace, accurate, unplayable. You just could not play it, but they fell away in the second half, So, and if that happens again, plus without Lock and Lamb, I'm assuming 10 centimetre laceration on his leg, doubtful that he's going to play, maybe even for a good few weeks. If he's got 15 stitches in his leg, he ain't, he's not going to be playing. So, and he is pivotal in that pivotal in that team. Matt Moylan does an amazing job, great classy player, we all know that, but he can't do it on his Todd. So I think Batley win the chance. I kind of agree with you. I don't think Fev's going to be quite good enough, and Lee will.
Yeah, Fev did knock Wakey over quite easily at the weekend, but yeah, even so, I don't think they'll have enough to trouble Lee.
Phil Rogers saying Castleford are playing like a championship team. I'd give Batley a fighting chance. Yeah, I'm in agreement with you, Phil.
Yeah.
I think we're in for a bit of a bit of an upset there.
That's need to change something pretty quickly, don't they? If they're going to do anything this year.
What do you think that is, Cal? What do they change there?
Purchase some better players.
No, but they've got. They're not without. Players. They've got like London. They've barely got any.
They've got to fix the defence up. It's just. Defence is the easiest thing to fix up, isn't it, for any Super League coach? Yeah, your attacking shape and your attacking players. You've got to have an element of some talented players there, but defence, any coach can teach decent defence. So yeah.
Okay, so we're going to wrap it up there. Thanks to everybody that's made comments this week. Any closing remarks, Carl, before we wrap it up?
No, just thank everybody for keep watching. We're just on an upward trajectory at the minute. We're getting sort of 3,500 people a week watching the show, watching our episodes and shows this week. So yeah, it's just great to see, and I'm loving it. I'm really enjoying it, and we're getting all over the place.
Yeah, so like I said, we're on a race for 500 subscribers by the end of the week. Please help us out, share, invite your friends to comment. If you want to see the show continue to grow and develop, then we need to. We need to know that we're on the right tracks, and that tells us that. Looking forward then, we've got our St. Patrick's Day special with Jed Corcoran, absolute belter. It's a corker from Jed Corcoran. Yeah. He doesn't hold back. So,
yeah, so that's comes out on Sunday, and then like we said earlier in the show, we do have the normal podcast episode on the Thursday. We met Matt Kennison, Alex McGuinness, and Claudia Dunn of Ireland Rugby League Pathways as well. So a lot of Irish rugby coming in this week.
News in.
We've
got news in. Hang on a minute about the council meeting. Right, we can't go anywhere until this is sort of cleared up. Let me get rid of that. Get Carl back on the screen. Right, here we go. In the comments, the council meeting is RFL council. All professional clubs meet 3 to 4 times a year. All the owners. I've been in the meetings with the Bears in the past, and they're very eventful. So I take it as Teddy's getting thrown out and bloody, Well, I bet it is an amazing place to be a fly on the wall. Just have an eye on that.
Yeah,
because I think everybody's got a great idea. The way I describe it sometimes is everybody's in a canoe and they're paddling like hell, but they're not always paddling in the same direction. And that's the way I kind of feel that this council meeting would be. So no, thanks, Alan, for passing on, telling us that. There's also Chris is saying, I think the council will be discussing the structure of 2025. Interesting. And then Jamie Lee Jones saying, top work, fellas, take care. And you, Jamie, and as always, thanks for inviting us down to the varsity match there. It was an amazing day.
And he will be at the Midlands Nines because he's the Hurricanes women's head coach.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'd be great to see him there.
Brilliant. Okay, so until next week, take care.